Pharah is finally, and I mean this, guys, finally getting nerfed. Hello and welcome to the channel. So we've got an emergency hotfix which is now live for the game. The game director, Aaron Keller, is commenting on this. The lead balance dev is commenting on this. There's a lot going on here. So there's been some changes to some of the most OP tank heroes, but they also say they're actually quite happy with what's going on with this patch. Now, I know that's kind of a controversial thing to say. You guys know that actually I think the tank changes feel really good for a tank player if you just completely disregard balance and you just want to play tank. It feels awesome. But obviously, you know, we need to think a bit more complex and a bit more detailed than that. Anyway, let's get stuck into this and let's see what they're saying, because there is some crazy nerfs here, but there's also a very strange omission. D.Va is not being touched at all, and I'm pretty sure D.Va is literally the most broken right now. Anyway, let's break this down. So this is Aaron Keller, and he says this: the team has been closely monitoring this patch and feedback from it, and are responding with some changes today. We'll continue to monitor over the weekend. Thanks for all the feedback. And he quotes Alec Dawson. So let's go and take a look at what Alec says. Hotfix now live. Hits some outliers we've seen in 2.11.1. Overall, the patch has hit our goal of finding a better middle ground for tank survivability compared to pre and post season 9. Okay. It then goes on to say, continuing to look at the finer elements within such a big patch and its long-term effects, hopefully can provide a deeper look into those effects next week as the patch matures. No, this patch was bold, but thank you for all the feedback throughout the last few days, which is dev code for piss off and stop sending me hate. So we all know, right? This patch has been absolutely catastrophic in a lot of ways, but it's been seismic, I think, is probably the best word to use in a lot of other ways. It has made tanking feel really fun, right? So it's achieved that goal. That was the goal. You wanted tanks to feel like massive raid bosses and feel really powerful. Then you've done that, Blizzard. Maybe with the outlier being possibly Junker Queen, not feeling as strong as the other tanks, but even she feels pretty strong, right? The tanks feel really good. But what is the cost? And that was the video I put out the other day. It even says it in the title. What is the cost? Or at what cost do the tanks get fixed? And it's a wider debate, isn't it? Can tanks even be fixed in a 5v5 format? Do we need 6v6 for that? Is there other ways of looking at tanks? Is making them super tanky the right play? Is maybe going back to making them more of a brawler style tank the right play for long-term health of the game? Who knows, right? But right now, tank feels really good. So if you're a tank player, go and play it. And if you don't play tank, give it a go, because you will feel super powerful. So if that's what the devs are going for, and if that's what Alec is alluding to here, I don't want to put words into his mouth, then yeah, they've done it. So yeah. Anyway, like he says, they've got to wait for the patch to mature to get more data, and then they'll make more changes. But the good news is they've made these changes fast already. So they are being proactive, right? And you can say what you like about the dev team. They are acting fast, and they are looking to fix some of the major issues fairly quickly. So first up on the chopping block is Pharah. This is a HP nerf, and this is a massive nerf to Pharah, because when you start looking at the breakpoints, suddenly now it's going to be a lot easier to kill Pharah. Like, you are going to be able to wreck Pharah if you're landing those headshots. Definitely, if you're mercy boosted as well, you're going to be able to rip her out of the sky. So her base health has been reduced from 250 to 225. This does open a wider debate for looking at other heroes to potentially reduce their health down even more, possibly like a Cassidy, for example. However, this needed to happen to Pharah because Pharah was completely dominant. So what Blizzard is saying here is, look, Pharah, you've still got the same power feeling on your rockets and the damage you're doing, right? Obviously, concussive blast damage hasn't been renewed. It is still removed as it was from the last patch yesterday. But this means you're easier to kill. So you're going to get punished if you're in bad positions, and it's going to be easy for people to counter you if they pick more traditional counters to you, like any of the hit scan heroes. Obviously, maybe with Cassidy being the outlier, because obviously his range was nerfed in the last patch. So this is good. Good job, Blizzard. I don't think anyone will say this is bad. We're sick of seeing Pharah in all of our games. This next one is also a good change. Zarya is incredibly powerful right now, and they're reining in some of the changes. However, this is still a buff over the state she was in before the patch that went out the other day. So, particle barrier, the shared cooldown is increased from 10 to 11 seconds. The duration is reduced from 2.5 to 2.25, and it's the same change for projected barrier. Now, before, the duration on this was 2 seconds, so we've actually got a 0.25 second increase on what it used to be before in terms of the duration of the shield, which is big, right? That's a big buff to her. Yeah, I think that's probably fine, because Actually felt kind of weird with Zarya having your bubbles active for that long, and 2.5 second bubble for Zarya is really, really long, and it means that you're always charged with Zarya. And we know that if Zarya's got a lot of charge, he tends to become a very, very strong meta hero, and he's just lasering down everybody because she's Zarya. So I agree with this, and I really like Zarya. So yeah, good change, Blizz. Next up is Ramattra. So Ramattra has kind of been... Ramattra was super powerful, right? Makes sense because he's got Transformer skin and they want you to buy it. And by the way, Blizzard, I got to call you out on this because it's fucking scummy, this is. You said before, Blizz, that all these events would have skins that were able to be earned. But apparently that's no longer the case because you couldn't be arsed. So the Transformers one is like, no, you've just got to buy it. And it's like $60, isn't it? Or is it $69? Something ridiculous to buy all 3 of the skins. Dear, oh dear me, Blizzard. I can't say I'm surprised anyway, because your monetization is a clown fiesta. Anyway, so yeah, Ramattra. Cooldown increased from 7 to 8 seconds on Nemesis form. Base armor, this is a big nerf, because remember, armor has been giga buffed. From 100 to 75. Base health reduced from 275 to 250. Now, I think they've done this because they've been watching clips on Twitter of nano-boosted Bastions firing into Ramattra, blocking in Nemesis form, and he doesn't die. And they're like, oh, we need to change this. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's how they balance the game these days. Okay, Illari. Oh, no, I'm not happy about this, but it needed to happen. So this is a nerf to Illari. So remember, in the last patch, she just had the UI change. So when her pylon gets destroyed, your teammates don't see the UI crap for it being destroyed. You still do as Illari because you need to obviously care about that. Anyway, look at what they've done here. Cooldown increased on the pylon from 12 to 14 seconds. Ultimate cost increased by 12%. So they're taking the power away from pylon uptime and how fast you charge your ultimate. These are nerfs to Illari. Will it be enough to make her terrible? I don't know. I doubt it. I think she'll still be decent. But that is a fairly hefty nerf, I think, to the healing pylon. And Lucio, so Sonic Amplify, the knockback, has been reduced by 10%. So enjoy that, Lucio players. So quickly wrap this up, guys. Basically, you've got the devs reacting fast. That's good. That means that they're looking at this, they're actively monitoring the situation. It is a big change in the game, and they're looking to make changes to make sure it works, right? Because this, to me, felt like a giant experimental patch. And back in the day, it would have been an experimental card, and we would have played it, and it would have been something like raid boss tanks, giga tank or whatever, and then yeah, they could have collected the data from that. They don't do that anymore. They just shove it into the live game. There are pros and cons to that. The pros being it makes the game drastically different, and it does bring players back. It made me more interested in playing tank, and I wasn't playing tank at all, right? It made me want to play the game again. So it works in that regard. On the other regard, if you are playing the game and it suddenly is thrown into effective disrepute, then you're like, what the hell is actually going on here? What are you doing, Blizzard? And I totally get that. But I want you guys to let me know in the comments below what you think about this patch overall, especially if you're a tank player. And are you happy with the rate they're actually looking at changing the game? And what do you think they're going to do going forward? Do let me know about all of this in the comments below, guys. I've been Stylosa, and I'll catch you lovely, jubbly lot on the next one. See you soon.